Morning, everybody. 7th of September. Early hours, actually, another day in my daily diaries of how I look after my wife with Parkinson's and dementia. Yesterday being Saturday, Angie got rushed into hospital. She had a bad choking do. I've not long since been back from hospital. There's not much I can do until we've got going back in the morning. I'd give her the tablets. We started off, the granddaughter came over with her chap and two little ones. And grandson came over with his. Then we just went out for a bite to eat at McDonald's, where you do with the kids. And then we came back here. Give Angie her tablets. I mean, talking about to them about how medications being changed over to dissolvers, solubles, etc. And how I'd started to use the syringe on crushing some of them up. And I give her the 4 o'clock tablets. And she started gurgling and she'd swallow it, and then she'd hold it in her mouth. And it was really hard work. And then all of a sudden she just started choking and gurgling and trying to get and she couldn't cough and she couldn't breathe. So I got granddad to phone that 111 or whatever number it is. And while she was talking to the person on the phone, she just got that bad, and I just said, "Gordy, forget that. Just phone 999." She just ended the call straight away and phoned 9, and I went through a few things and they was telling she told me to try 5 sharp stabs to the back, between the shoulder blades, and then put my arms round the middle and squeeze and push. By that time, our son had arrived with his missus, so he's come in to see his mum, and seeing all this going on. And then, to be fair, within minutes, the paramedic woman walked through the door, and she just took complete charge. And then a couple of minutes later, she was doing what she was doing and shouted at us all actually to get out of the way and give her room. And then three others come in. They'd come in an ambulance by then. They come in, so we all just got sort of shoved to one side, and there was mum. I can't remember what they was actually doing, but there was a lot going on. They got her on some oxygen. And then got her into the chair and got her into the back of the ambulance, and off she went with the siren and the blue lights, and I went in the car with the paramedic woman, again with blue lights and siren going. The others followed in their car, and we got to hospital, and she took me through. Angie had gone into the resus part first, and I was just put in the family room. And then the doctor come through, and she kind of come through, and he said, and his words were, "She's very, very ill. She's very, very ill. I don't think she probably not make it." And then he started talking about the DNR. Have you got I said, "I don't know what to do. What DNA do, not resus." I said, "No, not yet." So that's never come. No, he said, "Well, if during all the proceedings," he said, "Don't get me wrong, we will do everything we possibly can. But if at some point her heart was to stop, then we wouldn't use the compression. We wouldn't get the heartbeat thing on the electric thing, and we wouldn't do the the compression on the chest, because she's so frail, it's likely to do more damage. And then, I don't know, my mind was just going like that. It was, so he left me with her. He left me with her for a while, and then he shot off, and he had tubes all over the place, and a big oxygen mask on her face. She's like that, still trying to breathe. She's settled now. Thank God, she's more settled now. Her heart rate was high. Surprisingly, her blood pressure was okay. I mean, normally she suffers with low blood pressure at the best of times, so but that was okay. Yeah, left her on the bed, and I just sort of stood by the side, just held her hand for a bit. And the doctors and nurses kept coming in, doing stuff, checking stuff. You know, and I was watching the machine; it's slowly coming down, and then Wayne and grandkids, they turned up. Cordelia's chap Joe, he'd stayed here with the great grandkids, you know, so there was only us adults at the hospital. And then a doctor came in after an hour or so. He was on about, you know, so we're gonna have to keep her in, and we'll see if we can get her on a ward. And then he mentioned the DNR thing. It said the same thing. I understand that, but it's not really what you want to hear. It's not what you want to hear, really, but anyway, so they got her on a ward. They come and, you know, undressed her and washed her down and put a gown thing on for them, because we didn't take any pajamas, we just rushed off. And so she's gone up to a ward. So we followed her up, made sure she was, you know, settled in a bit. I couldn't stay. See, there's only about eight people on the ward, so I couldn't stay. So I said, well, I'll come back home, have a quick shower and a bite to eat, and I'll go back. And if I have to, I'll just sit in the, you know, in the cafe in the hospital. They've got my number. They took my number down if they need to get hold of me. But I got a text of Cordelia, granddaughter. She said, well, what if you go to, because there was no signal, you can't get a signal in the hospital. People were trying to phone us. People, you know, we were trying to phone out, trying to send text, and nothing happens until we come out of the hospital. Then it all went bing, bing, bing. So like Cordelia said, well, if you go back and sit in the cafe and they try to phone you and they can't get hold of you, you know, you just up next floor, but they can't get hold of you. So that was a good point. So obviously I've not been back. I mean, it's now, I don't know, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning now. I've had my shower. I've just put, you know, t-shirt on just and that. Well, I'll get myself ready in a bit, and I'll go back. I'll go back because the nurse said, "That's what time can I come tomorrow?" So she said, just after breakfast. Visiting time's officially 10 till whatever at night. She said, but just come up after breakfast. So I don't know, breakfast, so I would imagine sort of 8:30, something like that. So I'll make my way. I might leave here about 7:30 and go over and just have a coffee and ring from the hospital. If I could, I'll ring from the cafe to the ward. I've got the direct number to the ward she's on. And if I can get through, I know I'm safe then by sitting in the cafe. if I can't, then I'll just go back outside and ring from outside and then go up if I can. Because she thinks I've just gone for a coffee. I said, round because she's kept nodding off. I'm just going for a coffee, Angie, and I'll sit down for a bit and I'll come back in a bit. Thumbs up. And she went, give me thumbs up. One of the things I was panicking though about was see, all this came down from started from trying to give her a tablets and a medication. For the 4 o'clock ones. So come 8 o'clock, so what do we do? So, I mentioned it about 7 o'clock. I said, her tablets are due at 8. Parkinson's tablets are due at 8. Anyway, he come in and he said, right, what we'll do is we'll get a patch. Just attach it to, and it's just like a slow release. I mean, it's better than nothing, I know. But it was like 10 to 8, and I went out, I said, any sign of this patch coming? No, not yet, we need to speak to the doctor. So 8:15, I went back out, 8:30, and then sort of 20 to 9, I started getting a bit, not stroppy, but a bit, demanding. Politely, but sternly, right, come on, it's getting me on these every 4 hours, I kept saying. It's not going to be long now, she's going to be a 5-hour gap since she last had it. And only a 3-hour gap now to her next one. It's not just a once a day thing. Anyway, they blamed it on something in the system. Some safety device or something. I couldn't quite understand what they meant, but anyway, right, so I'll give you 5 more minutes. I went out at 5. I said, Dr. Bindi, have you sorted this out? No, we're just going to try and, I said, right, how long? He said, well, we're just going to, I said, well, how long? Is it 5 minutes or half an hour? So she said, no, it won't be half an hour, between 5 and 10 minutes. I said, right, I'll come out in between 5 and 10 minutes again. Anyway, before I had to do, a nurse walked in with his patch. So it was, 10 past 9? 9:15 maybe? I know it's the, it's the lesser of two evils, I know that. The most important thing was, keeping her on the bed. And I said, well, what about other medication? Yeah, we've got all that, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they can do. It's, I know they know what they're doing. I'm not saying I don't know what they can do, but I don't know what I could do, to be honest. I can't say there's the tablets, because so I don't know what's going to happen now. I don't know what we're going to do about medication. I really don't know. I'll have to speak to somebody. I mean, it's Sunday, so I can leave messages with the Parkinson's nurse and the Macmillan nurse, but they're not going to get back to me, Ali, till Monday. So I'm presuming that Angie's going to let Angie out tomorrow or later today when I go over, but I don't know. Are they? I don't. It depends on how she is, I suppose. But it was frightening. It really, really was frightening. It really was. You don't know what to do for the best while it's going on. Horrible position to be in. It really was. So I probably won't do, I definitely won't do one later. Consider this for me one for today. And I've not even replied to any. I put before I come out of the hospital, you see, messages and that from today, from yesterday mornings, but I've not replied to anything yet. So I'm going to have another cup of coffee now, keep myself awake. And I might reply to some messages now. And just see where we go. Just pray to God this phone doesn't ring. Okay, so I'll do another one as soon as I can. Hopefully it'll be a better one than this. Okay. All right. You take care now. Bye.